Since the 1960s, the internet has been in development by scientists and pioneers to share information at the drop of a hat. What they didn't know then is that the internet has become an essential part of modern daily living. For surpassing the simple notion of just sharing information, the internet has gone on to host social networks, create digital movie theaters, and open platforms for news outlets to cascade information within milliseconds. It has even gone as far as tilting public opinion towards politics, entertainment, and social norms. Here are the most insane and strangest facts about the internet. Number 15. The internet is older than you think. The idea of the internet can be traced back to the 1900s, with scientists, engineers, and others plotting the flow of information via technology. It wasn't until the 1960s that J.C.R. Licklider from MIT thought of the Intergalactic Network for computers. Shortly after the ARPANET was created. It was the first instance of a functional working system. Number 14. The term internet was used for the first time in 1974. In 1974, the term internet was used for the first time to describe a growing network of linked computers around the world. The term contrasts with intranet, for example, meaning an internal rather than external network. Number 13. Remember the World Wide Web? In 1989, Tim Berners-Lee created the World Wide Web. If you don't remember the term World Wide Web, it's now that what is very commonly referred to as the web. Berners-Lee coded the first web page in 1990, and the rest is history. Sites like Facebook and Google would not exist today without the ability to code in content. Number 12. The first web page is still online. There is a report that the first website, a landing page at CERN's domain describing what the internet project was trying to do, is still online after 29 years. CERN is where World Wide Web inventor Tim Berners-Lee put the global network online. Number 11. Networking was first developed in 1961. For computers to exchange information, there has to be a set of rules to make sure the pieces don't mix, crash, or get lost. Computer scientist Leonard Kleinrock developed packet switching beginning in 1961. This is just what it sounds like. Computers bundle information into small containers called packets, which are securely passed back and forth through network cables that obey shared rules of the road, so to speak. Number 10. Facebook, or Myspace, wasn't the first social network. 6degrees.com was one of the very first social network services available to the public. Based on the 6 degrees of separation concept, 6degrees.com was created in 1997 and lasted until 1999. This was one of the first times users could upload photos and information that was shareable within smaller networks usually angled around similar interests. Number 9. The name Wi-Fi was created by a marketing company. Around 1999, the brand consulting firm Interbrand created the name Wi-Fi after being commissioned by the Wi-Fi Alliance to market the then innovative service. The term Wi-Fi doesn't actually have any social meaning. Its origins are also kind of unknown. Some sources report that it started in the 70s in Hawaii, and others report that it was created in Australia during the early 90s. Number 8. Google is the most visited site on the internet. With more than 1 billion websites to choose from, Google is king. According to the traffic ranking site Alexa, Google.com is the most visited site in the world. YouTube.com ranks second, and the Chinese language search engine Baidu.com is third. Number 7. The first email was sent in the 1960s. A very basic form of email was created in the 1960s. They used the ARPANET system that allowed a rudimentary form of file sharing among connected computers. Number 6. The sender of the first email doesn't remember what he wrote. Computer scientist Ray Tomlinson invented email in 1974, and it's reported that he doesn't even remember what his first message was. At the time, it would have been strictly plain text with no formatting. Number 5. The first network of 4 computers were linked in 1969. Today, most of the world is interlinked with a massive cabling infrastructure that includes gigantic cables beneath all the world's oceans. In 1969, computer scientists made proto-internet history when they linked 4 computers together at the same time. This sounds so simple, but it requires complex thinking. How do you decide which computer passes information in which direction? And how do you make sure everything arrives both quickly and safely? Number 4. The Ethernet cables used today for the internet were invented in 1973 for telecom networks. Today, we all use a lot of wireless products, but businesses still primarily rely on wired internet. The Ethernet cables we still use were invented in 1973 and used for telecom networks before the development of Ethernet internet. Like a railroad or a highway built in pieces, if everyone agrees on one set of guidelines, they can build a uniform network that works well for all users. Number 3. Google was named after Google, a large number. In 1998, Google was founded as a revolutionary search engine in progress, named for the large number called a Google. Before Google, search engines were much patchier and often more like lists of recommended sites. Google's technology used feedback, such as which results users really clicked on, even if those didn't have the most appearances of search items, to continue to improve its search results. Number 2. Up to 20% of Google searches were brand new in 2012. In 2012, Google engineers said up to 20% of the site searches in any given day were brand new. Assembling long strings of words formerly helped searchers find exactly what they want. But in 2019, Google changed their algorithm to begin discarding parts of user strings from their searches without their permission. Number 1. Heather Armstrong was fired for blogging in 2001. Douche is still the online home of writer Heather Armstrong, who started the site in 2001 as an outlet for her personal thoughts, including those regarding her co-workers. She was fired from that job as a result of the blog, but she leveraged that event into a career of which momentum has only started to wane in recent years. This is it for today. How many facts do you know already? Let us know in the comments and subscribe for more videos. See you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.